This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Sunday, May 17th, 2026, in the morning. Today we address the surge in supply chain vulnerabilities, the emergence of DeepSeek-themed malware, a structural shift in Windows driver security, and the move by the ArXiv repository to penalize researchers for artificial intelligence-generated content. We also discuss the potential disruption of data center power consumption on local communities, and a high-stakes macOS exploit developed by the Caliph team using Anthropic's Mythos. The security landscape is currently navigating a wave of deceptive repositories targeting users of the DeepSeek TUI. Threat actors are deploying multi-stage malware disguised as legitimate terminal-based interface packages. This campaign utilizes the popularity of DeepSeek to bypass initial suspicion. Concurrently, the TanStack library for NPM packages has been targeted by a supply chain campaign identified as Mini Shai Hulud. In a related development, a Jenkins plugin supply chain attack has been utilized to deploy info stealers. These incidents demonstrate a shift toward poisoning the foundational tools and dependencies relied upon by developers, rather than attacking the end user directly. Community sentiment is preoccupied with the proliferation of info stealer campaigns. We are tracking a campaign named NWH Stealer, which uses the Munloader to facilitate credential theft. Additionally, a fileless Python-based info stealer is currently targeting Russian-speaking users. Analysts also note a new ransom group, Nova, which has begun publishing victim data. On the defensive front, an open-source secret scanner named Titus has seen increased adoption for its ability to provide live credential validation. Security professionals continue to emphasize the defense-in-depth strategy, as recommended by recent expert training sessions. Note that the Linux kernel has introduced new security guidelines for AI-assisted vulnerability reporting. Linus Torvalds has mandated that such findings must be discussed publicly, as multiple researchers are increasingly likely to discover the same flaws simultaneously. In a move to preserve scientific integrity, the ArXiv research repository has instituted strict penalties for papers deemed to be AI slop. Researchers found submitting work generated entirely by artificial intelligence, including hallucinations or fake citations, face a 1-year ban from the platform. Subsequent submissions from these authors will require formal peer-reviewed publication before appearing on ArXiv. This represents a significant tightening of standards for one of the most vital preprint servers in mathematics and physics. A critical development is emerging regarding the physical limits of the infrastructure boom. In Nevada, a utility provider has informed nearly 50,000 residents in the Lake Tahoe area that 75% of their electricity supply is being redirected to data centers housing infrastructure for Google and Apple. This forces homeowners to face the reality of finding alternative power sources. This is a clear signal from the future. The energy demands of high-reasoning model clusters are increasingly in direct competition with residential and commercial grid stability. The team at Caliph has successfully utilized the Anthropic Mythos model to develop a functional macOS exploit in just 5 days. The exploit bypasses Apple's memory integrity enforcement, allowing a standard user to gain root access. This serves as a validation of the fears surrounding autonomous vulnerability research. By shortening the dwell time between the identification of a software weakness and the creation of an exploit, models like Mythos are fundamentally shifting the risk profile of even heavily secured operating systems. In the security sector, users of OpenImageIO are advised to update to the latest versions. 3 high-severity vulnerabilities have been identified. 2 of these relate to improper clamping of run-length encoding, a technique used for image file manipulation in visual effects and animation, while the third involves assigned integer overflow. These vulnerabilities allow for memory corruption, which could be exploited through the processing of specially crafted image files. Microsoft is moving to block defective drivers through a new cloud-based approach before they are installed on user machines. While this is intended to reduce system instability, it centralizes control over the hardware configuration of local machines. This effectively shifts the responsibility of driver validation from the user, or the device manufacturer, to a centralized cloud service, further reinforcing the reliance on Microsoft ecosystem for basic system integrity.